Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gillcast. This is the Sports Grid Fantasy Football Podcast, simulcast on the RotoGrinders Football Podcast Network. I am Davis Maddock. I am joined by a dejected Nate Noling, a dejected Sammy Reed. Guys, I guess good news for the listeners. If you like the shows where we lost money, this is going to be one of those shows because we all three got wrecked. None of us played Will Fuller.
Nope.
None of us played Amari Cooper. None of us played Aaron Jones. And to be quite frank, we all played Carson Wentz, who I think was the worst play in the history of daily fantasy that I've ever made.
I mean, I haven't been this broke since Bitcoin crashed. It's a sad day.
There are guys. So this is a true story. First place in these massive double ups. It was a duped team. How often do you see first place be a duped team? Never. You never see that in double ups because it's always someone's
score.
Yeah. So the team that won a lot of double ups, and I say the team, it's because a lot of people played this team. It was Deshaun Watson, Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Will Fuller, Auden Tate, Michael Thomas, Darren Waller, Aaron Jones, and the Panthers defense. Every single one of those plays was over 17% owned, and 8 of those 9 plays were over 23% owned.
That's so easy. Why didn't we do that?
Well, we decided instead of being good
or Watson.
Well, why don't Sammy, why don't you tell the listeners what you said about Will Fuller when I told you that you could play him if you wanted to play Zeke? What did you say?
I said he was, and I quote, not a good cash play. which I'm actually putting. I told my wife to please put that on my headstone when I die.
It was just one of the most amazing things I think that has ever happened. I thought it was so great. It just because it was like, and literally it took, 2 minutes for it to be proved. Like when he scored on the first drive.
Yeah, I mean he had.
Yeah, then I said he's going to score right away, isn't he? And you're like, yes, absolutely. And then he did, and then he scored again, and then he scored again, and then he scored again, and it was just like, this is I'm just tilting like the artwork at Stevie Wonder's house. Like this is just not going to happen. It was just good game, like an hour into the slate.
Yeah.
I mean, it was I was holding out some hope because we had Christian McCaffrey. I actually think that I was holding out a little bit of hope because Christian McCaffrey in some stuff was owned at like 35 to 40% instead of like 60 to 70%. Obviously, that's not true in the big higher stakes games like the $25 double ups and stuff. But sometimes you can get stuff back in like $3 double ups or whatever. But
and in some head-to-heads.
Yeah, there was just none of that today. There was just none of that.
Yeah, I also played Wayne Gallman, who 2 plays into the game went down. So that was, it was a good game. It was game over for me 10 minutes into the slate.
So I guess, we still so actually, and I don't actually know if Sammy made this mistake as well. I don't remember.
I'm sure I did. Whatever
mistakes were to be made, we all made.
No. Actually, Sammy didn't. Sammy should have scored more points than us. I don't know exactly how he did.
Sammy faded Keenan Allen as well.
Yeah, I scored. What did you guys score? I scored 176.5.
Yeah,
I scored 170, but I played James White, who, just thinking back things, that was so bad. It was really not good.
Jesus Christ. I'm so glad this is a wrap-up show and not like people are listening like we're giving out picks because you would get fired.
Yeah. It was just Nate, I need you to take this for me, dude. It's been a long day.
Here's the thing. I thought James White was...
everybody knows, Davis is live bet the Chiefs in the second half.
I live bet the Chiefs, and Andy Reid calls a freaking halfback dive on 4th and 1. You have Patrick Mahomes. They go into heavy I'm tilting so hard, dude. Oh! So James White.
I mean, I thought James White was fine, not a great play, just because there were a range of outcomes for like this game script that ends with him getting like single-digit points pretty easily here. Like if there's a defensive touchdown for the Patriots, if there's, if Brady throws 1 or 2 to Edelman, like James White can get game scripted out of this pretty easily with just how easy the Patriots should have been ahead in this. And like you would have need pretty high target share for him to reach value. Like
Nate, you're totally blowing it. Like this is your opportunity to just bury Davis, and you're like, no, I think it's actually fine. Like it's awful. It's a terrible,
so bad, dude.
Terrible play. Like
it's literally it's like playing 4 wide receivers in cash. Like it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's not any different than playing Larry Fitzgerald in flex or whatever. Like James White, literally his upside, like his stone upside in a regular season game that they're going to win is like 17. He is never, ever, ever, ever getting better than 20 here. Never.
It's not an upside problem. It's a floor problem.
Like how did your process lead you to, you know what, I'm going to roll James White in cash?
What did you project him for carries wise? Like three carries?
Yeah.
Like how many carries could you have expected him to get?
Honestly,
like Chris Thompson.
I just thought he was going to be like Rex Burkhead when White was out. That was honestly my thought process. Was Rex was a smash when James was out, so White's going to be a smash when Rex is out.
Rex was
I didn't anticipate.
Rex
I didn't
was
anticipate.
How much? 3-4 when he played.
Davis didn't anticipate the Patriots winning by 25 points
with the spread at 16. What was the spread?
Washington even scored first. So like should have been
this game script. This setup as good as this outcome for White was as good as
it gets. And yeah. I don't even like James White, dude. James White sucks. I don't own him on a single. I don't own him on a dynasty team.
I already feel better. I don't
own him. I don't own him on any team. I think he sucks. I think James White sucks, and he was $1,000 too expensive. Oh my god, dude.
I mean, this is legit like going into a candy store and there's just all the best candy in the world. You know, there's Kit Kats and there's, I don't know. I don't eat that much candy anymore. But there's Snickers and all this delicious stuff and whatchamacallit. And Davis just picks up a log of poop and buys it and eats it. That's what James White was on this slate.
I use a metric just stupid simple. I take rushing attempts and then I take targets times 1.5 and do an opportunities per dollar metric. He was 27th on the slate. 27th opportunities per dollar. Like,
I want to die. And you know what? Not even the worst play I made.
No, not even close.
Carson Wentz literally. Because this is what I should have known. When I went to go build GPP lineups, I literally just like clicked Carson Wentz out. I was like, oh, I don't need any of him. So that should be just a dead giveaway that like even internally in my head, I don't even like him. Like I don't even think he's a good play. So what am I doing?
Just imagine that there's a game on the slate that everybody knew was going to smash, and it did smash and ended up going for 85 points. And we played 0 players from the game in cash. That
was the Houston Atlanta game.
Yeah. Not having.
I mean, everybody just played Watson and Ryan because everybody's smart and we're stupid as hell, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah. And the thing about Ryan is his floor has been so good, even in games that don't need to shoot out like this, that there literally was no reason we didn't look at Matt Ryan at 5'9". Like, I don't know why I wasn't on him. I don't think I built one lineup with Matt Ryan.
Well, I had a lot of Matt Ryan. I had a lot of Deshaun Watson. I had a lot of Deshaun
Watson in tournaments.
But it was all well, I had Matt Ryan in cash, and then I just was like, no, I have the 200 because I played James White now. So
because you had the same team as me then before, because I had Montgomery over White, and I wasn't going to go to Montgomery.
Oh, I played Montgomery.
I wasn't going to go to White.
Man, this is my masterpiece of badness. I played 3 guys who I legitimately will never play again. Not like just never again.
David Montgomery felt like I thought his opportunities would be there, and instead Tariq Cohen took the first 5 running back snaps, I think.
Well, here's the thing about David Montgomery. A big thing everyone needs to know. Even in terms of running backs don't mattering, this dude is worse than that. He is pool filth. He is abysmal. That dude, this is a great way to think about David Montgomery. If you need 3 yards, he can probably get you 3 yards. If you need 8 yards, he's definitely going to get you 3 yards. And that's the best way I've ever heard like bad running backs described. And that's really what he is. He's not a good pass catcher. He's just going to be reliant on short touchdowns, I think. That's the only way he's going to get there.
And we got lucky getting 10 from him.
Yeah, luck boxed into 10 points. Like, imagine playing David Montgomery at 5.2 instead of Aaron Jones at 5.9.
Okay, well, to be fair,
at one point, my cash team had Aaron Jones, Will Fuller, Christian McCaffrey, Michael Thomas, and Matt Ryan.
To be fair, we did not know at the time of lock at noon that Jones was the only running back that was.
Yes, we did. We knew it was gonna. We thought it was gonna be Dexter Williams, who the coaching staff didn't like. It was just bad by us. It didn't have anything to do with Trey Carson versus Dexter Williams. It was just bad. That's it. That's all.
That is correct. We're just fish.
It didn't have anything to do with like, oh, Dexter Williams is gonna take some of the passing down work. Like, no.
I mean, here's where I knew we were in trouble. Is that I knew all 3 of us played Wentz, right?
Yeah.
And all 3 of us played David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
So I clicked.
And I played Gallman as well.
Yeah, well, you're just, a complete fish. But
no, Gallman was fine.
It was the fact that he got hurt.
However, I opened up one of the double ups to look at ownership right after lock, and I saw that both these guys were like 10%, like Wentz and Montgomery. They're 10% owned in cash, and we all played them. And I was like, we are 3 fish swimming around in a bowl together. Like, this is going to turn out.
Well, I mean, Deshaun Watson just dropping the 44 burger at 22% owned. Not super helpful.
Will Fuller's ownership literally blew my mind in cash games. I couldn't believe that
he got talked up by every outlet, every tout. Like you from ESPN to RotoGrinders to Daily Roto. It literally, if you read a fantasy football article this week, everyone told you how good of a play Will Fuller was.
I had not a good Will Fuller in tournaments, but I couldn't believe that he was as owned as he was in cash. And I literally just
what I had saved on Saturday night was Will Fuller, Ezekiel Elliott over Keenan Allen, 5K running back, which was James White in the lineup I ended up playing, but was Gallman the night before. Yeah. So I guess I wish someone would have given me a concussion last night so I could just not edited my lineups and woke up and not just anyone that has a good hookup on food stamps or whatever. Let me know. As I'm saying this, the Chiefs are they're losing at home to the Indianapolis Colts, but at least I think I got a good price on this loss, though. At least.
How have the Chiefs only put up 10? I don't understand.
Because Davis live bet them, bro. They would have won if Davis didn't.
Oh no, I live bet them in the fourth quarter. The stink had already stunk.
Davis, can we talk about how tilting the Keenan Allen game was?
Well, so this is actually why it's tilting, because you know who the pivot was since our team was behind and we didn't make it. You know what the 1v1 pivot was?
Mari Cooper.
Mari Cooper was $500 less. Scored.
I wasn't pivoting. With Gallman, I was dead. There was no point.
Well, that's another. You're an idiot for not thinking about.
Gave up on life. Yeah. He's like, no,
I think I shut down my computer. I don't.
Nate, I swapped the day that I got 3 points from Ben Roethlisberger. I think you could have stuck around your laptop for a couple minutes to figure out if you needed to get.
When you get 1.4 from a running back, when everybody else, you're done.
I actually
into a ball and died.
My tournament teams were the only thing I had any hope because I had stacked Deshaun Watson and all the Houston.
When the going gets tough, Nate closes his laptop. Oh, good job, Nate. Good job.
I mean, so here's the thing.
I'm back now to take my L, though.
It was not good of me to not do that swap. I should have gotten a little. I kind of thought I was live to a big game from Keenan. To be honest,
if Keenan puts up 53 points and outscores Will Fuller, I might be able to.
No, because the line in these games.
Be able to bubble.
I'm actually looking at it now. Like I'm looking at the lines in these double ups. Yeah, and Amari Cooper got 38, I think. So, I mean, I'm just realizing now that this is like I just cost myself like 6 months rent by not just swapping when I was already dead.
Looking at, there were so many things that I got wrong about this week.
Oh, dude, I literally just should have. Oh, Nate, I need a moment. I'm like double tilting because I didn't really realize as it was happening how bad it was for me to not swap.
Jesus. Let's talk a little bit about our decision making and try to really pinpoint where it went wrong. Obviously Carson Wentz was an egregiously bad play.
But, so it starts there. I think that was the worst thing. Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing that I was thinking at the time. I'm like, look, Wentz like always gets multiple touchdowns. They're playing the Jets, who are awful. They have a big implied team total. That's what you want. Home favorite quarterbacks, big implied team totals. And I think the issue there was that Carson Wentz had a great chance of playing in a blowout because the Jets are just so pathetic. And indeed, that's what happened. Whereas both Ryan and Deshaun Watson, like there was no way that game was like not going to be competitive on one side. They were going to go back and forth a little bit. And you don't want to get your quarterback on a team that's just
They didn't even really go back. They didn't even really go back and forth. It's just Houston doesn't like. Well, what actually happened is Watson just ran insanely hot with touchdowns, and that's fine. Like, but Deshaun Watson's floor is like 12 points. Like that is literally that's like him getting beat up and 3 turnovers and like getting crushed all game is like 12.
Yeah,
Did Wentz even get 12? He probably did.
Wentz got 12.
12.06. I'm not even that mad that I didn't play Watson. I'm more mad that I didn't play Ryan. I knew Ryan was.
Ryan was the cash play. I think is the like at 5'9" with Ryan's price. I think Ryan was the cash play. I do think Watson obviously is a great play, but like I don't think even with construction I would have been able to get up to Watson in cash. Like at 6'7", I'm not paying 6'7" for my cash quarterback. Like I don't know. I don't think I ever would have landed on Watson in cash. So I'm not even regretting or tilting the Watson 45-point burger. I'm tilting the Matt Ryan thing.
Yeah. I think
gotten to Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't think I had a good team with Watson ever, a team I liked.
Yeah. Right. And that's the whole thing about, something I'm usually really conscious of in cash is having exposure to certain games. And having no exposure to that game, it was like everybody's favorite game to stack. It was supposed to be the highest scoring game. It had the highest scoring over-under. To not get a piece of one of the quarterbacks in that game for Carson freaking Wentz is just beyond unforgivable.
Yeah.
Like,
when I built my lineups, though, like I literally was – Wentz wasn't even somebody that I was like somewhat shaky about. Like I saw that 14 – I mean, what was the spread? It was like 14. He had like a 28.5 team total. It was like the highest team total of the week, tied from New, and it was like, there's no way Wentz lets me down here. But it was just
famous last words.
It was just dumb.
Yep. All right. So that was super fishy of us on many levels. Running back, I went Fournette, McCaffrey, and David Montgomery.
Yeah, you did it right. You did it right.
Except for David Montgomery, sure.
I went McCaffrey, Gallman, Montgomery. I don't feel bad about the Gallman thing. Like, I think Gallman would have been fine. I actually still think, like, I'm shocked at his ownership. I don't know how he was so low owned. I think if injuries weren't a thing, I don't know if Gallman would have been a bad play.
I don't think he was a bad play, but I actually, now that I don't see a ton of difference between him and I mean, it's just like,
you don't see a lot of difference between him and James White.
No, he was a better play than James White for sure. I was gonna say Josh Jacobs, but that's just being hindsight based.
Yeah, you would never play.
I played like 8% Josh Jacobs, and I played like 25% Gallman.
The reason I didn't play Gallman is because I had significant worries about his upside. Like when we're looking at cash plays, like I thought he had a fine floor because he's going to be on the field most of the time and he's going to catch passes if they're down, etc. I just didn't think he really had a lot of upside to like hit the bonus or score multiple touchdowns against the Vikings. And
I actually had him with one of the higher running back touchdown like equities, just because like he's not going to get like John Hill is not going to steal running back like red zone work.
You're talking about lead New York Giants running back John Hilliman.
Like I wasn't concerned about.
They play on Thursday, and Saquon is maybe not going to be back, and Gallman is going to be in the concussion protocol.
Saquon will be back.
Don't they play the Patriots?
Saquon's going to be back. Saquon would have played this week if it was the playoffs, from all reports.
Who cares? It's like the Giants. I didn't think it was a good spot.
Let's move on. I don't even want to talk about Gallman anymore.
So obviously, like we don't need to talk about James White anymore. So bad.
We should really, because I don't.
So really, my thinking was just like that guy is going to roll out of bed and get 9 targets. Like and that part ended up being true. The reason why that's bad is when you're rolling out of bed and getting 9 targets, that probably means that you're just not like he just is not a red zone guy. He's not a big touchdown guy. The team has a lot of other ways. I did not run bad in this sense, but Sony Michel had 1 target on the year and then had 3 in this game, including a couple snaps where he was split out wide. And,
so he was Rex Burkhead?
That is what, yes, Sony played Rex's spot, which, we had not seen them done. Like, and, whatever, it's Patriots running backs, stuff like that happens. But, that's like another 5 points that White would have had.
Was the crowning moment of your day when Brandon Bolden caught a 29-yard touchdown pass?
No, it was when Ryan Izzo scored. When Ryan Izzo scored, I was like, oh, it's just not happening for me today. It's just one of those things.
The tilting thing was the running back I wanted to play that I didn't have the stones to play was Philip Lindsay. And Lindsay ended up being a great play again. Like, I don't know why I can't pull the trigger on Lindsay. I don't know why people don't play him. He just –
because his team is always a 7-point dog, and he splits work down the middle with Royce Freeman.
But he still gets a ton of the expected, like.
I'm not arguing any of that. You just said, why don't people play him? And I just told you.
I know. I just don't have the stones to play him when
you don't want to play a back on the Broncos who's like not a full-time guy. It's a tough scene.
Yeah. So I couldn't pull the trigger on him, even though he was popping in almost every number I looked at, but I didn't play him. I excluded him from cash, and he put up like a 27 burger.
I mean, that's a guy you can play in tournaments, but not a guy. I don't know. I think in this week when there was a lot of running backs to play, it would have been a bad cash play.
All right. So I mean, one of the only smart things I did on this day was play Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, you just took the dude who's going to get 20 – like he's fat CMC.
Kinda. Yeah. Like he's certainly not good at football, but he's just on the field all the time, and he was one of 3 backs coming into the day that got 90+% of his team snaps and getting a bunch of targets, and it's just like, he's going to be on the field the whole time. Like those are the guys that are kind of game script proof. And he gets, the Holy Trinity. He gets all the rushes. He gets work through the air. He gets the goal line work. He ended up having a really good game. And
Reichel Armstead got 1 touch.
Yeah, Fournette was a good play. There's nothing to it.
The fish thing in me was like I just was not crazy about playing him in CMC in the same game, but it doesn't really matter because CMC is like a wide receiver. Like, so it's not one of those things where you're getting 2 dudes who are just like trading off like 8-minute drives to get points.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a negative correlation between opposing running backs, but CMC isn't like your normal running back, and kind of Fournette isn't either. Like
they're both just shares of that offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not something I normally love to do, but I just thought Fournette was really underpriced for being like a true bell cow. I thought, he was like the true bell cow that was the cheapest on the slate, and I really wanted to have him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's like now with Eckler. I mean, he's like third on of all running backs. It's like CMC, Eckler, and Fournette in workload in almost any metric you look at.
Eckler, bro, what a heroic 15 reception performance.
He had
from Austin
16
freaking Eckler.
targets and like, what did he have? Like 3 rushing attempts.
Yeah, I don't know, something
By the way,
like that.
By the way, Davis, your Chiefs bet is dead. They have officially lost, but
The Indianapolis Colts.
yeah, but good news for us in the survivor pool.
We took KC.
No, we took Philly.
Oh, well, I meant in the picks pool.
Oh yeah, of course, but that's just a pick.
Yeah.
The survivor.
Okay, so
everybody got wasted, and we took the Carson Wentz-led Philadelphia Eagles.
So there's got to be some people that are just eliminated from that now.
All right, nobody wants to hear this, guys.
No, dude, people care. You think people don't?
This is literally the only thing that went right for us all day.
I was going to say, what else are we going to talk about? Michael Thomas played well, like, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, so I guess
Sammy, talk about why you faded Keenan, because it worked out for you.
I mean, yet again, I don't
Sammy
even
the Sharp, dude.
No, I don't even want to talk like I thought he was going to have a bad game. I just thought, one of the things we look at over the first couple weeks of the season is just like weighted opportunity rating, right? You look on airyards.com and who's the number one receiver in WOPR. It's Keenan Allen, and he's just getting all these air yards and all these targets. But I think, you have to put it in context. And when they all of a sudden have both backs that they like to throw to in the game, they have Mike Williams back. I still think Keenan Allen's a good play. Also, I'm not big on like CB wide receiver matchups, but like Chris Harris was supposed to spend some time on him. It just, they were also big favorites, and they ended up not even winning. They weren't even ahead, but I thought if they got out ahead of Denver, they wouldn't have to throw that much. And so it was like, I just didn't think that I thought he was a good play. I just didn't think he was this must play. There were a lot of factors that kind of took the sheen off what he's done before versus what he's going to do today. And and besides that, like Larry Fitzgerald, I just had to get Fitzgerald in. Like, he was such a good play. So
Keenan Allen had 18 reception yards.
Yeah.
It wasn't
We both played Keenan Allen.
Mike Williams got 14 targets. Austin Eckler got 16.
Keenan Allen had
Keenan Allen was basically Sean Culkin today.
Sean
6. He had 6 targets.
This was one of Rivers' worst games ever.
Yeah, I left the house. I didn't watch any of the.
Oh, I didn't. Dude, do you think I watched the afternoon games? I didn't watch I watched a little bit of the Cowboys game, but
I left and hung out with my parents. I couldn't emotionally deal. I was like, hey, let's have lunch. Like, this will be great.
Yeah, it was not good, man.
Okay, so do you guys, in retrospect, think playing Keenan Allen was a mistake process-wise?
No.
The
process mistakes I made were James White and Carson Wentz. And you know what? I don't know. This is like math-wise, I think it was fine. But I do truly despise playing guys like David Montgomery who need the script to be good and absolutely have to score touchdowns to get there. I know Montgomery got the touchdown, but without the touchdown, he got like 3.8 DraftKings points. Like seriously so bad.
Yeah, I think that was a fish move by all of us as well. It was just one of those things where he's been playing more and more snaps every week. He was up to 70 last week. He got 24 touches. And it was like, yeah, Oakland sucks. Like, Chicago should be ahead in this game, and Montgomery should get a lot of work. And the reality is that they were being led by Chase Daniel, who somehow was worse than Mitch Trubisky. And they were playing.
I think your Chase Daniel team would have been the smash, dude.
Maybe.
Probably would have.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't remember if it had Fuller in it or not, though.
No. I was never going to play Fuller in cash. Like,
that's why I'm not actually too tilted, because I wasn't going to land on the winning team. Like, I saw a bunch of people who had like Watson teams in cash.
No, I had the winning team when I fell asleep last night. Or
Bridgewater teams in cash, and I'm not going to play Teddy Bridgewater in cash. I wasn't going to play Deshaun Watson in cash. Maybe Ryan. I could have probably landed on a Ryan team.
Dude, I gotta give a shout out to Cardi. The blitz optimal that he played in cash finished 20th in the Millie Maker.
just smashed.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean that's Stones, bro. That's Stones. Like what a great team that was. It was
What was it?
close to
294 in cash.
No, 300 something.
308 and 3/4.
Oh, I thought it was like 290 something.
No, it had just all the smashers. I mean,
It had
let's be
all the
honest.
guys.
Today was a day where we had so many guys put up giant smashes. Like I feel like Field Yates or somebody tweeted out that this is the first time ever that 5 players have scored 40 or more PPR points in a single week. Yeah. Fuller, Jones, McCaffrey, Watson, Thomas. And like we played 2 of those guys. We all played Thomas and McCaffrey, but like people were playing Fuller, people were playing Aaron Jones, and dude, if you didn't have 3 to 4 of those guys, you were just complete and utter dust. And that's me. I'm complete and utter dust.
I mean, here's the thing though, is I like even having 2 of those guys, it's just this is something that people have been talking about for a long time, but it's just ownerships are getting so much better. The field is sharper. People do make generally better decisions.
Yeah, well, maybe we're just fishier because I literally texted Will Fuller is not a good cash play. And Will Fuller scored the 9th most fantasy points for a wide receiver of all time. Like
there's no way you could have known. There's no way. It's not like anyone touted that he could have been a good play this week for any.
Sammy, he was 30%.
I'm so tilted.
Less about the results, more about the fact that he was legitimately 30% owned in like higher stakes cash games.
He's not the kind of guy I like playing in cash because his
but we played Auden Tate, who was stuck at 0 for 3 quarters.
The thing about Will Fuller is, I don't know, his price didn't even get. It's not even like DK priced him way down after disappointing.
4,500 is cheap. They're
not
like
for Will Fuller.
Curtis
He's been 4,500 for the last 2
Samuel,
weeks.
who is Curtis Samuel was like barely like a guy, and he was more expensive.
But that's what he's been like the last 3 weeks. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not like he had a bad performance and then DK.
Do you guys remember when we did this show, like literally like 5 years ago, when Will Fuller was a rookie, and you guys were like, "Dude, you can't play Will Fuller for $4,000," and I was like, "Actually, you can, and this is why." And then he just kept scoring touchdowns every game. It's like literally like we just reverted 4 years back.
I didn't say Will Fuller was the best play. I just wasn't on him.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm always about 4.5 guys who have high ADOTs and stuff like that who have touchdowns. If you're going to take a punt, I'll do that. I just wasn't going to land on a construction that I had 4.5K for a wide receiver. Like nowhere was I building that I had 4.5K. I don't even.
The reason people played Will Fuller is because of the matchup, right? They played the matchup.
Oh, was it a good matchup?
Yeah, they didn't play him last week in cash for 4.5.
I was going to say what?
They didn't play him in cash last week because Adam Levitan and Matthew Berry and everyone didn't say he was a great play last week. I'm telling you, you guys don't like realize how much people are following the touts, and if all the touts say someone is a really good play, that really like, and I'm not talking about one guy. I'm saying literally every tout is saying Will Fuller is the play, even if they're saying Will Fuller's a GPP play. Like this is just something that's going to correspond to people owning them in cash.
So do you think we ran bad, or do you think we were a fish for not playing Fuller in cash?
I don't think it's like binary like that. Like I think that if we ran
hot and we're fish.
Yeah, I think clearly, like obviously him getting 55 or whatever, that was the best. Like if they played that game 100 times, he probably never scores more fantasy points than that. But
of course,
also,
it was the 9th best fantasy performance of a receiver of all time.
I wouldn't have played Will Fuller even if I had 4.5. I probably would have played Curtis Samuel over.
Yeah, I literally don't even talk to me, dude. You should really not have
on the air. Like that was
that is so stupid. That is
Davis.
These Curtis Samuel people drive me up a GD wall, Nate.
Davis.
It's like they're just unconcerned with like the whole theory of how fantasy points are scored.
I don't think I would have played Will Fuller.
Got to get 6 interactions with Kyle Allen in cash games just as whenever possible.
Nate, I can't get over what you just said.
I didn't consider Curtis Samuel in anything for a second.
I had Curtis Samuel I had him projected at like a 23% target share at.
So what, you're just making target shares up?
Davis, what did you have him projected at, your target share? I bet it was similar.
21.3.
Okay. And his ADOT is literally at like 13. I actually would have played Curtis Samuel probably.
Oh my God, dude. Nate,
Dude,
I think you probably would have too.
Nate, I would have never in my life played Curtis Samuel.
Pull up your projections and tell me what you have Curtis Samuel versus. I don't think I would have played Will Fuller. I'm looking at the numbers now. I don't think I would have.
I mean, also, I do not just run the straight optimal in cash games.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm looking at my numbers going, I don't think I would have landed on him.
All right,
you gotta fix the spreadsheet, bro.
You really do.
There's something wrong with that projection system.
Curtis Samuel has had 3 weeks above a target share of 20%. His variance in target share is much tighter.
We have Curtis Samuel with 21.7%, Will Fuller with 18.8, but we have Will Fuller a yard and a half better yards per target than Curtis Samuel. I would not. I mean, even if the optimal gave me that, literally never in a million years, never in my life. Curtis Samuel is just like a more hyped version of DeAnthony Thomas. He's Dexter McCluster.
Oh.
It is the way it is, bro.
Well,
people, by the way, people listening to this right now are so triggered. People love Curtis Samuel, and honestly, he's fine. I'm in a bad place right now, and I'm taking it out on other people, and I apologize for that if you're listening.
Well, all right. So, look, I played Thomas and Auden Tate like everybody. Thomas was just so obvious that I don't even feel good about playing.
We don't even have to talk about. It's just like whatever. I do want to talk about Auden Tate though.
Did we all play Waller at tight end?
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. I want to talk about Auden Tate first.
I want to die. I don't even want to finish this podcast. This is just.
Yeah, it's whatever. We got to do it though. We got to do it. So Auden Tate got there, but after watching that game, Keyshawn Johnson was very clearly the superior play, and just in terms of $3,500 wide receiver in a fast-paced game. Keyshawn Johnson was like playing that slot role that allowed Christian Kirk to have like 10 catches for 43 yards every week. He had 7 targets. Auden Tate was like a very peripheral part of the offense there. So that's how I feel after watching the game. I never would have had the stones to make that play in cash though.
Dude, whatever. He got 6 targets. Keyshawn Johnson got 7. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
A big one good thing happened today. A big boy Kyler Murray win on the road. Took his team down the field, 2 minutes left, got the game-winning field goal. Also, just a little trivia tidbit for those of you listening. Zane Gonzalez already has 17 field goal attempts through 5 games. That is, for a team that doesn't score points, it's like absurd. It's insane. That's so many.
We have officially moved on to the kicker touting portion of the past.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying, like, what on earth is happening?
They ran a lot of design draws, a lot of quarterback design runs to Kyler, something they've kind of shied away from earlier. He ran for 93 yards. Like, my buddy who doesn't even watch that much football came over in the morning. He's like, dude, is that Kyler? He's fast as hell. And I'm like, yeah, dude, he jumps off the screen. Like,
yeah,
if that's a regular thing, that's going to be really good. His rushing yards are going up. So go Kyler. But yeah, that's it. I played Larry Fitzgerald in cash instead of Will Fuller. I paid $1,500 more to play Larry Fitzgerald than get the 9th best fantasy.
I don't have words for that one. I didn't think Fitzgerald was very good. I told you not to play Fitzgerald, but also you're your own man and you can do whatever you so desire.
Well, I don't.
What's really funny
play
is that
Panthers
Fitzgerald is a Nate play. That's like a dude. He's gonna see 33% of the opportunities in between the 27-yard line and the 47-yard line in a fast-paced game.
On Fitz is because I didn't think
Because he was so expensive.
he was expensive, and I didn't really think that Kirk going down changed Fitz's
role.
His role much. And he was not really getting a ceiling of like 30% target share yet. He was seeing like in the 20, and I didn't see a smash. I don't know. I wasn't on Fitz. I do think.
I mean, I'm just a Fitz, bro.
The more I'm just like,
stay in my defense. Like, I thought he'd be solid. The thing about Larry Fitzgerald is I think he has 0 yak on the year. Like, he just catches the ball. And it's like
falls backwards.
Yeah, he can't do anything. He definitely got like a wide receiver screen, a quick screen on the goal line, and just got tackled immediately. He couldn't even get 1 yak for the touchdown. I'm like, just knew I was just dust at that point. And then Zane Gonzalez kicked a field goal.
Figure it out.
Yep. So I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about receivers more?
No. Can we talk?
No, we should talk. I mean, here's
about Waller.
We did make a different decision than the field because I think everyone played Mark Andrews. Not everyone.
I thought
A lot
Andrews
of people played Hooper, right?
No, I'm not seeing. I'm just scrolling through teams in a $5 double up right now. I'm not seeing a ton of Hooper. 9.3%. Waller, Andrews, and
Olsen. Right.
Oh my gosh, dude, Tyler! We lost the people who played Tyler Eifert.
Dude, I lost to people who played Mohamed Sanu in cash. Like, I got murked by those people. Like, they
got doubled.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. I thought Waller was a complete smash.
Dude, after the Tyrell news came out, I was like counting 20 points from Waller.
Yeah, what happened?
Just Josh Jacobs, man. He just crushed it.
I need to look at it. I don't even know who got the.
I'm telling you right now that at that game I watched all of it.
I'm sorry. It's terrible.
Well, I was driving back from a wedding today, so I did all my lineups in my laptop via hotspot on my in the car.
Hunter Renfrow and Foster Moreau had 5 targets.
This Foster Moreau dude is actually starting to eat into the Waller stuff. Last 2 weeks. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Hunter Renfrow and Foster Moreau each had 5 targets.
Nate, all I'm saying is that this Foster Moreau thing is like not an unpredictable aberration. It's like a real thing to start thinking about with Waller.
Waller had 26 air yards. This is killer. I'm like,
I just thought he was such a smash with Tyrell out. I'm like, who are they going to throw to? They're going to be down in this game. And that's the thing with Montgomery and Waller. It was kind of like predicting that Chicago would be ahead for a good portion of this game, which, I mean, Oakland is terrible. So is Chicago. Chicago's not a good team.
Yeah,
how much was DJ Shark? How did DJ Shark have 175 air yards this week?
Because he's literally Calvin Johnson.
We just need to be playing DJ Shark. What are we doing?
I mean, he's like –
I'm playing Larry Fitzgerald at 6K. That's what I'm doing.
Just fading Will Fuller and DJ Shark, just, doing what it does, just getting it in. Dude.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Is this – I actually think this is the worst
week we might have ever.
I think this is the worst we've all ever been smoked. Because at least normally one of us is like, oh, I'll just play Will Fuller.
We literally had people beating us in head-to-heads by over 100 points. Like – there's nothing we could have done.
Okay, can I do one thing to make us all feel better?
I don't think anything will.
Yeah, unless Bitcoin is up like $3,000.
No, I actually sifted through my head-to-heads and I found someone who scored under 100 points.
No, that's not true.
They didn't play Michael Thomas. They didn't play McCaffrey. They didn't play.
Dude, what is his username? Like, text it to me right now. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm sending invites all week, dude. I need to get my money back.
All my stuff is already cleared out, so I gotta go back and search for it. But I was doing it.
I'll pay you for it. Like, I'll buy you a meal.
It was a $3 head-to-head.
It's fine.
It was one of 27
some food stamps for it.
Dude, whatever I can take.
It was like one of 27 games I won this week.
It was a bad week.
All right. Well, can I finish up by talking about the defense that I played?
Yeah, what a defense. I don't even know what defense you played.
I played
the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, I mean, that was fine. That was fine.
That was fine.
Yeah. It wasn't. I mean, the Panthers were the team.
It's because I didn't have the extra 100 to get to Carolina.
You should have just played Will Fuller and then played the Patriots.
Imagine what I could have done with $1,500. I could have played Aaron Jones and Will Fuller and a good defense and a quarterback that didn't suck ass. Like, yeah, I could be rich. Stupid Larry Fitzgerald.
Dude, you were just a 4v4 away.
Sammy, you almost had the nuts.
Sammy, dude, you almost hit the nuts.
So close.
Aaron Jones getting 4 touchdowns, by the way, out of all the ridiculous stuff that happened today, that was the most absurd thing.
He was actually in my very first cash build, like when I just make like my first lineup on Tuesday or whatever, like he was in my first lineup. I'm like, dude, Aaron Jones is a really good play this week. And then as the week went on, I kept him in some GPPs, but I was like, you know what'll be good is David Montgomery. Like, I think that's solid.
I really do not get what I wish I could communicate with myself from 11 hours ago and be like, you literally hate David Montgomery. What is it that you're doing?
It's just really bad. I
just get too amped up like that hour before lock. I'm just like too scatterbrained and amped
White,
up.
Gotta do it. James White.
I just like
gotta lock him.
Like every team I make, I'm like, oh, that team's the nuts, and then I like think of something else, and I'm like, oh no, that's the nuts. And it's just like
I can confirm that Davis literally texts us in the morning.
This is the nuts.
3 to 4 different times. I've got the team. This is a different screenshot. And the last one had James White in it.
Oh, man. I got to see what you said. If you guys didn't try and talk me off James White, I'm going to be so mad.
We do.
Dude, I think you should like start going for walks and stuff in the morning on Sunday morning instead of like being on your computer.
I just said, ugh, this White thing can go so bad. So bad.
If I scroll back here far enough, I got Sammy touting IDP takes.
Hey, look, that was such a good take. Like Jordan Hicks could legitimately lead the league in tackles. And yeah, I touted him on your podcast as like a long shot to do that. That's such a great take. After my John Johnson Super Bowl bet over 6.5 tackles, which cashed. I wish we played daily fantasy with IDPs. I'd probably not make as bad decisions as I do now.
Davis, you sent a Matt Ryan team like half an hour before that.
I was waiting to see if I'd sent a Will Fuller team, but I did not.
But you didn't. But the Matt Ryan team had Gallman, so that would have tilted you.
It just nothing matters, dude.
Here's the big question. Do you guys think that the listeners got out of the show what they wanted to get out? Because we've overall had a pretty good year, but I think this is what the listeners look for is when we all.
Oh, yeah, this is actually even with donking off, half a year's rent. This is actually still one of the better NFL years because I've been
my best 5 weeks.
Yeah, I've been having good, this is the first, I lost that Ben Roethlisberger week, but I had good tournament teams. So it wasn't like I was on death watch that time.
No, for sure. For sure. Overall it's been fine, but these are, I hate these weeks, man. I hate getting smashed.
People don't know how hard it is to realize you're losing, realize you don't want to talk about football, realize you don't want to watch football, go out with friends and then come home and be like, I got to talk about this.
I got to talk for an hour about my bad teams.
I got to relive this pain. It's
okay. Let's do a little look ahead to next week. What do you guys think Kyler Murray costs at home against Atlanta?
Start with Kyler Murray.
5,800.
Davis, you got to quit. You got to quit Arizona.
Why? What on earth, dude? Kyler just said 25 again.
Sorry, 6,100. That's a better guess.
He's 65.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
Why is Nate telling me to quit Kyler when he just smashes every game?
Yeah,
and he's running now.
Kyler might be just as good as Lamar Jackson.
And like, what if instead, hear me out. What if instead of just kicking a field goal at the end of every drive, occasionally, maybe even 25% of the time, they score a touchdown?
What's Amari at? Because he was in the late game, right?
Amari Cooper at the New York Jets, 7,000. Here's an interesting thing. Tyreek Hill speculated to be back from his clavicle injury next week. What do you think Tyreek costs?
65.
62.
6,900 at home to Houston.
Nice. What's Curtis Samuel at?
Not in the slate. They must be on a bye week or something.
It's a big good for Nate.
Hey guys, I bet he's more expensive than Will Fuller. Oh wait, he's not. Will Fuller 6,000.
Yeah. I just faded a guy who's now 6,000 at 4,500.
I think a crazy interesting thing is, what do people do with Hopkins 7,400? We are now.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like the Will Fuller thing, when he's not the number one guy, Hopkins always is going to have a larger projection than him. Like,
yeah, but at 4,500, it's not as material, Nate.
I know that's
it's not like Curtis Samuel's the number one guy.
He had been the whole year. He'd been leading.
No, he had not been the whole year. He'd been the third guy all year. But okay.
No, he'd been leading in Whopper up to this year. He'd been leading in target share, and he had the highest air yards.
He was not leading in target share because McCaffrey, Moore, and Samuel all had exactly 31 targets.
Nay, you got to shut the Curtis Samuel thing down, bro.
It's so bad. I'm telling you. I'm trying to help you.
Yo, what's DJ Shark at?
That's actually an interesting question because I feel like people don't even bother touting him. DJ Shark at home to New Orleans, 5,500. DJ Shark is averaging
Davis, you're such a fish. Curtis Samuel has 524 air yards. He's like 200 more air yards than anybody else on his team.
Nate, literally, I'm doing this to try and help you.
No, you're not. Curtis Samuel
I'm trying to help you.
He has –
You could take someone like Curtis Samuel, who in a very theoretical universe could maybe someday score fantasy points, or you could play someone like DJ Moore who just gets fantasy points.
Curtis Samuel's like 8th on the year in total air yards.
Okay.
Nate, do not say his name again on this podcast.
I'm muting you. I'm muting you if you say Curtis Samuel one more time. Okay, here's the list of guys that DJ Shark is averaging more DK points than. Sammy Watkins, Julio Jones, Tyler Boyd, Will Fuller, Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett, Adam Thielen, Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham, Demarcus Robinson, Marquise Brown, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley. He just is a stone masher. And I've not played him once in cash. Don't even really play him in single entry either.
We're stupid. Super stupid.
Gallup is 5,600. He's a good.
I don't, dude. I don't know what to do with any of these prices. My confidence is shaken.
This week,
Sammy's shook, dude.
Yeah, I'm shook as balls right now, bro. Like, just yeah. Sometimes you lose and you're like, okay, like I ran bad. I think I made good decisions. And sometimes you just fish it up, and I fished it up, and that's all there is to it.
So
I'm taking my L, bro.
Will Fuller's 6,000 next week, $1,500 price jump.
Yeah, thanks for the breaking news, Nate.
So Marquise Brown got an ankle injury, and obviously he spent a lot of the offseason missing with foot surgery. So I don't know how much they would really want to rush him back. The Baltimore wide receivers against Cincinnati. Well, dude, DraftKings is too sharp for me.
Boykins,
what do you think? What do you think Willie Snead costs? Based off what I just said,
45.
Dude, they boosted him to 5,500.
Mother of God.
He is the same price as DJ Shark. That's not even fun. That's a tough scene.
Yeah, this whole week was a tough scene, bro.
So at tight end, Will Dissly, 4,900. George Kittle, 5,200.
Dude, I'm going to smash Kittle.
It's against the Rams. I don't know if that matters.
It doesn't. It doesn't, but
Kittle's way too cheap.
Let's run
Kittle,
it.
I mean, Ertz is 5,400.
What?
They play at Minnesota.
Double tight end week in cash, Nate?
Nate's in. Yeah, Nate's in. All right, guys, that's it. I don't have the heart to do this anymore. I try and give some more forward-thinking analysis, but it was a long day. Yeah. Let's wash the till out. This was cathartic as always. I'd like to say I feel a lot better, but I actually don't. I don't know. I feel
Can we talk about James White again, just so I feel a little bit better?
So James White was a good play because he was just gonna roll out of bed and get 9 targets, and it was fine, and that's fine, and it's fine. Just don't worry about it, dude. It's just fine. All right, everyone, thank you very much for listening to the Sports Grid Fantasy Football Podcast, simulcast on the RotoGrinders Fantasy Football Podcast Network. We will see you back next week if any of us have any money left.